Hello guys, so I'm prepping a recipe for a black bean cake. I'm very excited about it and I have a few options for how I want to present the cake. So I made a few different shapes. I have a round, sort of like donut shaped. It's not a donut cake, but I really like the shape of it. And then we have some smaller figures here. So there's this one sort of with a rounded edge. And then we have these two that I'm thinking you could put together to make a completely spherical cake. That could be really fun. I'm very much looking forward to decorating these, but I don't want to go out and do a big shop for this because I don't have the time for that. So we're gonna try to do all the elements for the decoration of the cake without going shopping. I must have something. This is my big book of ideas, and I just put some different ideas down for things that I could do. I want to do a cream, and I can do a cream because I have silken tofu. Here we go, coppered silken tofu. This is from a Danish supermarket. I don't like this variety as much as other kinds of variations. I usually get it at the Asian supermarket and those types are just way better. But we're gonna try to do something with this. But whenever you blend it, you often get like a very thin consistency. So we'll have to stick it together with something. Okay, but hear this out. Peanut butter, powdered sugar and butter. And then potentially also a little bit of malt powder just for a nice rounded flavor. We're gonna blend all of this together and put it in the fridge, see if we can make a cream of sorts. I don't know. So we're gonna add some of the silken tofu. It's already completely shattered. I think that's a good amount. We're just gonna do everything without sort of any real measurements. We're gonna do a good chunk of the butter as well. Can't hurt. And the peanut butter as well. Then I'm also just gonna add some malt powder. This is really nice. And powdered sugar. I just put the cream into a squeeze bottle. The consistency is still very runny, so we'll need to put it in the fridge. Perhaps in the freezer for a little while, simply just to cool it down. Hopefully the consistency will be a little bit more firm, but let's taste it. I really like the color, honestly. I think it's gonna be great with all the other colors. Okay, that slaps. I'm tasting peanut butter, I'm tasting the malt, but a little bit sweeter. Perfect. Continuing. And it doesn't taste like tofu at all, which is my main concern when using supermarket tofu. But we're good. Let's also make a twill for the top of the cake. I think that would be very nice. So, just the quickest twill. I have several recipes for this. One in my blog, I have one on Instagram. It keeps changing. So I think this is one of those recipes you can get away with without being super strict with the recipe. At least I've been successful in making this, even when my measurements went completely off the rails. Flour, powdered sugar, salt, malt powder, a little bit of oil and a little bit of water. Bada bing, bada bong. The great thing about these twill is that they're not just for show. So you can add any kind of flavor you want to it. I like that it adds a crispy element, but you know, it also adds flavor if you add flavor into it. So this one we're making with the malt powder, I think will be very good. Is the malt powder an obsession at this point? Probably. Oh, baking powder. We need to add baking powder into it as well. Ay, ay, ay. No harm done. Let's see if this still works, even though we added the baking powder in so late, but... So I also have a tiny bit of chocolate left. I can sort of find small pieces here. We have one piece. This is just from my late night snacking, don't mind me. 2 pieces of chocolate. I think we're gonna utilize these and we're gonna melt them. And then we'll see if we can draw some very fine strings or like lines. Small piece of chocolate that we can use for the decorating part. Let's melt these, see what happens. Okay, my chocolate is melted and I'll see if I can draw with a chopstick on this silicone baking mat. See if we can draw some very thin lines. I'll get back to you on how that actually looks, but I feel like that one is very nice. So we're gonna try and channel that. Or I'm gonna put it into a piping bag and do it that way. So I ended up getting somewhere. Luckily, I used a piping bag instead of the chopstick technique and it worked out a lot better. And then I also had chocolate leftovers to do 2 small domes. So maybe we'll put those on, but at least now we have them. And there is at least some of these that might work. I took the twill out of the oven. They all came out intact, but then I started breaking some of them afterwards because I think I want them slightly smaller. I haven't quite figured that out yet, but at least they're all out now. Another thing I want to do, and I might end up regretting this, so I think I'll need to try it out on one of the cakes that I know is not gonna be endgame, but I want to do a glaze. I've done it a few times, 50% success rate, and I want it dark. So I'm brewing some black coffee, adding in a little bit of charcoal and powdered sugar, syrup, vanilla, just to sort of balance the flavors. And we're gonna bring this to a boil. Then we're gonna add in our agar-agar, which is basically plant-based gelatin. I do, however, I've had a few different types of agar-agar, and this is often giving me attitude. So I don't know if this will be successful, which is why I want to try it with one of the cakes I know I'm not gonna do for the final dish. But maybe I'll do it, maybe I won't do it, but we'll try. We'll try to do the glaze. I wanted it black, and it's gonna be very dark. So bring this to a boil, see what happens. I would say this was a 50-50 success. I don't like the look on this cake, but this is very nice and completely shiny. Love to see it. And I think I know what to do now to make it happen. We're gonna do it again to the real cake. I'm gonna get my glaze up and boiling. Then I'm gonna let it cool down ever so slightly, just a little bit. Pour the first layer, then I'm gonna settle it, pour another layer, and then I think we will have this shiny, beautiful finish that we're going for. This I really love. This should have had another layer of glaze, and if it had that, I think this would actually also be really nice. The cool thing about working with agar-agar, by the way, is that you can just take the leftover gel, reheat it, it becomes liquid again. You're gonna try one more time. You can just keep going. And in the meantime, I popped some popcorn because I think we're gonna caramelize them. This is my favorite zero-waste snack, by the way. It's often super easy to get the kernels without plastic, so this is definitely one of my favorite snacks, and we're gonna utilize that because I already have them all the time. Here we go. Use what you got, you know. So we're gonna caramelize them as well. Gonna work with sugar, always skeptical and scared. We're gonna try. So I have my popcorn, very caramelized, but there has been an evolvement. I have the cake that I really wanted to do here, but I think the glaze is very uneven. It looks weird to my eye. I think it's uneven. I don't like it. So I think we are gonna go with this one instead. And I have an idea. So I just popped out the small domes, the chocolate domes. Here we go, pop them out. And we're gonna take one of them, place it on top, and then decorate around it. We can fill it with the cream as well. I think that could be really nice. So I think we're going in that direction instead. Okay, and we have all the elements basically. One last thing, something that I also have here, and in the spirit of using what we already have, I have some rhubarb powder here, and that could be really fun to use as well. Oh, it's not rhubarb, it's beetroot, but I still want to use it. Beetroot, also good. It's more fruity, but still has the earthy tone, so I think it's gonna go really well with the chocolate and the coffee. It's gonna be a little intense dish. I'm so excited. Okay, so I'm gonna clean everything up. Let's assemble. I simply cannot let it go, so I think I'm gonna try to decorate both of them. Okay, so this is my vision for the first dessert. I like it, but I don't love it, to be honest. And here we have the second dish. So I ended up with two different plates using the same ingredients. This was honestly a really fun challenge, using what I already have in my kitchen without going out and buying groceries. It got me thinking a little bit more creatively about how to use the stuff that I already have, rather than just going out shopping every time I get an idea. Using what is already in my cupboards before it goes bad is significantly better. I like them, but for different reasons. I'm happy that I made two. Let me know down below which one you like the best. Also let me know if there's anything you would have done differently. I think I would love to have added something green. I would have loved to have the popcorn be smaller. Yeah, there are a few different things that I would like to do differently, but overall I am pretty happy with how this turned out. Now for the most important part, the eating part. I don't even know which one to begin with. I think this one. I'm gonna do this one. Hey! Honestly love the coffee and the caramel here. Very good, very good. Now I don't know how great of a taste test this is, because you know, it's the same stuff, but it's just very satisfying. So we're just gonna love to break something that I spent so much time doing. So much fun. The part that I'm most excited about is absolutely the cream, the silken tofu peanut butter cream. It's very good. I love that. Also like the caramelized popcorn, but I think they should be smaller. They're very big and it looks lumpy. But this was really delicious. Thank you so much for watching this video, and also a special thank you to my Patreon supporters. You guys help me create green zero waste content and I love you guys. You can find the links to my social media accounts down below and the link to my Patreon on this screen. Bye!